Believe it or not, these things happened. Here are 10 crazy coincidences. In 1975, a 17-year-old boy was killed riding a moped. Exactly 1 year after that, his 17-year-old brother was killed on the same moped, at the same intersection, and hit by the same taxi, driven by the same taxi driver. They were also carrying the same passenger. 21,000 people worked on the Hoover Dam and 96 of them were killed. The first was J.G. Tierney, who drowned. The last person killed was Tierney's son Patrick, who died 14 years later. Both of them died on the same day, December 20th. A woman named Violet Jessup was nicknamed Miss Unsinkable. She worked on the Titanic, which sank in 1912. She worked on the Britannic, which sunk in 1916, and she worked on the Olympic, which crashed. All three ships were from the White Star Line. In the year 2000, The Simpsons predicted that Donald Trump would become president. 16 years later, this prediction came true. The Simpsons predicted all kinds of things that came true, like the Game of Thrones finale, and Disney buying Fox. 20 years before it happened. The first soldier killed in World War I was John Parr. The last soldier killed was George Edwin Ellison. Though 40 million people died during the war, these two soldiers are buried in the same cemetery 15 feet apart. In 2001, a 10-year-old girl named Laura Buxton released a red balloon into the sky. On the balloon, she'd written, "Please return to Laura Buxton." The balloon landed 140 miles away and was found by another girl. That girl's name was also Laura Buxton. Walter Summerford was struck by lightning. 6 years later, he was struck by lightning again. And 6 years after that, he was struck by lightning again. He died 2 years later. But 4 years after that, so 6 years after his last lightning attack, his grave was, you guessed it, struck by lightning. Mark Twain was born on the day of the appearance of Halley's Comet in 1835. In 1909, Mark Twain himself predicted he would die when Halley's Comet reappeared. He said, "I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It's coming again next year and I expect to go out with it." He was right. Halley's Comet returned in 1910 and Mark Twain died a day later. On June 20th, 1941, Soviet archaeologists uncovered the tomb of Tamerlane, a descendant of Genghis Khan. An inscription read, "Whoever opens my tomb will unleash an invader more terrible than I." 2 days later, Germany invaded Russia. The odds of getting hit by a meteor are 1 in a trillion. When a meteor crashed into a home in Paris in 2011, the press rushed over to check on them. They were fine. Their name was Comet.